Hey, I'm Jess, and I'm a carnivore coach, but I'm also becoming a food addiction counselor. And people have been asking me this question, and I want to discuss it. So I talk about carnivore and keto being an exceptional diet for those who are disordered with their food or addicted to food. And a lot of people have been asking me this really intuitive question, which is, if carnivore is so restrictive, meaning you just eat animal meats, isn't that what caused the binging in the first place? And that's a really good question. And this is actually a really interesting nutrition debate that's happening right now. So on one side, you have registered dietitians and intuitive eating counselors talking about the fact that you binge because of the fact that you have restricted so much in your life. So the idea is if you remove restriction, your body eventually finds balance. And honestly, there's truth to that. In essence, if you're like me and most of my clients, if you have been yo-yo dieting, always on a diet for most of your life, you probably did induce some binging cycles because of the intense restriction, because your body isn't getting nutrients and you're constantly restricting food that your body actually needs. But there's another side of the conversation that we don't talk about enough. And that's that there's a whole lot of foods in our modern food system. I think I have to go this way. There's a whole lot of foods in our modern food system that are extremely chemically engineered to be hyper-palatable, and they override our body's ability to feel satiety, to feel actually satiated from them. So think about it. Think about cookies and chips and burgers and fries. All of these foods are hyper-palatable. They combine fat and sugar. They have that intense bliss point that is expected and, designed. And for some, these foods are not moderated. They can't be moderated because it overrides your brain's dopamine signaling. And that's a real thing that's happening in your brain. I hear a lot of people say, you're not addicted to food. No, it's you've done this to yourself because you've restricted for so many years. Let's talk about the actual foods and what it does to the brain. And this is where the food addiction conversation comes in. Because actually, when you remove those foods, for some people, this is the first time they actually experience real food freedom. Because you're removing these hyper-palatable foods, you're replacing it with real, good, natural foods like vegetables, fruit, meat, eggs, natural, healthy fats, and all of a sudden the body starts to reset. The body starts to become clear, the hunger signals start to come back online, the leptin signaling starts to get back online, and you don't have leptin resistance, so that the body can finally feel, oh, I'm full and satiated. I don't need to continue to look for more energy. And this is really, like I said, the first time that a lot of these people actually find food freedom. And what's at the base of it? Restricting some foods. So I don't actually think that either of these worlds are wrong, that intuitive eating is right or that carnivore is the only right way, but it's really what does the individual need? And that's where we have to be super open, right? And that's why I don't love hearing intuitive coaches saying that you're not addicted to food, because that takes out the whole part of the equation that the brain is actually changing because of the food. So for some people, restriction is freedom. For other people, removing the restriction is the freedom. And I'm open to both sides being okay. But if you are a true food addict, if the change is happening in your brain, you do absolutely 100% need to remove those foods. And I'll die on that hill.